best you can.
Hello, Texas.
Shit, I don't know which. Oh God, we're off with
again?
three.
We're gonna
do it. I'll look at. Okay. Oh, because there's.
I'm not even paying attention to that. I'm looking at you. I'm
Oh,
looking at
well,
that.
dude. So there's three.
Are we recording?
Are we going now? I think. Okay, so I think this one.
Take two. Hello, Texas.
Hello, Texas. Is it said this one?
And welcome to the Hello Texas
I think
podcast.
we just keep all of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to edit. I'm not cutting it up.
We are doing the end of the year show, and you could see how much we've learned in 2020.
This is it. We've. You know what? I think we've learned a pretty good bit.
No, I make fun of us because that's what we do. We have decided to do the top fives of 2020. Exactly.
Right. That.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and I couldn't be more excited about it. You know I love a list.
Man. All right. So, fun fact: if you've been following along with us since we first started this, Steve had this list,
And we kicked it off January 1st.
Oh, y'all, the spreadsheet was.
It's still there. It
is insane.
We just stopped using it.
But it was the most organized. I think for me, it had taken some really loose general ideas and some loose thoughts, and you really put that stuff together. And for the first time, whatever this is,
yeah, whatever this is,
took some form. It was real. It became very real at that point.
Right. And we started doing podcasts early in the year, and it was rudimentary, phone call with John Napier.
It was raw.
And then we got into it with Michael Mode and Bo Bolfing.
Production so far over the top, so harder than it had to be.
It was a movie set.
Yeah. And it was impressive, and it was fun.
And then COVID hit. And you got married.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Melissa. Miss Murphy.
Mrs.
Murphy.
My beautiful wife back there.
And then you left for like a month to some far-off land.
I was gone for a week and a half.
Was it
that long?
It felt like a month. At least 2 weeks.
I think we were supposed to have been gone for like 3 weeks, but, COVID hit.
COVID.
Yeah.
And it totally changed everything.
Man, it I guess it did. I mean, I don't know that it's too much. There's a lot of stuff different. No bones about it. There's a lot of stuff different. I think some ways it maybe made us better.
You don't think that if COVID had been around for like 20 years, we wouldn't be a totally different society, or we wouldn't be doing this a totally different way?
Well, I mean, we I don't know, man. Society would be completely different, without a doubt.
Just look up there and stare for a while.
But
just look up there and stare for a while.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm seeing the same thing you're seeing.
Don't talk. Just look and stare so you can fade out to the video.
Oh.
Hello, and welcome to Hello Texas Top 5s of 2020. I am Steve Peters with Hello Texas, and these are 5 albums These albums are listed in no particular order and does not include other albums that you should be listening to as well. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of this list without the express written consent of Hello Texas, USA, and its subsidiaries is strictly prohibited, unless it's cool. Number 5, Hill Country by the Wilder Blue. Number 4, Touch of You, the Lost Songs of Gary Stewart by Mike and the Moon Pies. Number 3, Overgrown by Cody West. Number 2, Fever Dreamer by Dalton Domino. And the number 1 album is The Short Go by Jared Birmingham. This has been 5 albums that you should be listening to from 2020. Now, here's Timothy Murphy of Hello Texas with another entertaining list. Take it away, Timothy.
Hi, I'm Tim Murphy, and these are the top 5 female artists. Category should not be considered all inclusive. Numerical order is not meant to deprave or deem any artist greater than another, and by no means is meant to pit artists against one another or cause or create a competition based on opinions, information, or entertainment created by Hello Texas or its partners. Any suggestions of such should be met with liar, liar, pants on fire, or suck it up, or show us where the truth hurt you, or equivalent type of response. Number 5, Katie Pruitt. Number 4, Holly Beth. Number 3, Jade Marie Patek. Number 2, Holly Tucker. Number 1 is Courtney Patton. Thank you. These are my top 5 female artists. Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Timothy, for that informative and entertaining list of 5 things. What an outstanding group of 5. Now, here are 5 artists that we heard for the first time in 2020 that you should know. I heard more than this, but this is 5 of them. Number 5, Carson Jeffrey. Number 4, Dustin Brown. Number 2, Alexis McLaughlin. And the number 1 artist that we heard for the first time in 2020 that you should know is Cody Hibbert. Congratulations to all the musicians for making it on an end of the year list. Now, back to you, Timothy Murphy, for another list to entertain us.
Woo! Yeah, top 5! Woo!
Thanks, Steve. That was a really good number 3, by the way. And now, for more really exciting top 5s, we got the top 5 music videos. Number 5, John Dipsey and the Honeybees with Love Me Yet. Number 4, Avenue Rage with Tribulation. Number 3, Taylor Branch and the Lone Star Ramblers with My Ghost. Number 2 is Whiskey Myers and Bury My Bones. And last, but certainly not least, is Austin Meade with Happier Alone. These are the top 5 music videos. Thank you. Can we not? Can we just do one top 5, and instead of like 5 top 5s, can we just do like one?
Sure.
I don't know what you've seen, but I know what I've seen, and I just let's listen. We've overcomplicated things this year.
All right, I'm good with that.
Let's keep it simple.
All right,
You good with that?
Yeah. Which one do you want to do? I got. How about the top 5 things we learned in 2020?
That's a short list.
Well, let's make it. Well, let's figure it out.
Okay. Well, I mean, the things that we learned.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk. What other things could we talk about? Top 5 shows.
Well, and seeing that, I haven't been to a lot of shows, so I don't know if we can really do top 5. Can we do? Have you been to 5 shows?
I've been to a bunch of shows. I've been lucky.
Oh yeah, you have been.
So.
Well, I don't know that I could really compete much with shows.
Well, what was your favorite show of the year? Oh no, let's go backwards. I'll start. I've got one of my top 5 shows was Dalton Domino and Cody Cannon acoustic.
Yeah, that was just recently
at Chef's. It was one, seeing Dalton again after a year and a half, and then having Cody Cannon get up on stage with Tony Kent and playing his songs acoustically was just, it's one of those once in a lifetime.
That was one of your moments.
Yeah, it was just why you go to shows for that right there.
No, I got one I could throw in there.
Okay.
You know, man, we're probably gonna hear this name a bunch, but Lone Star Ramblers.
Taylor Branch. Yeah.
Taylor Branch. You know, we drove out to Gatesville, checked them out. That was not. I did not I don't have a lot to compare it to this year, but I do have a lot to compare it to.
That was out
It's
at
a good show.
That was out at Bare Bones
Yep.
in Gatesville, which was a cool place. It was cool going to a place so far away from home for the first time and being surrounded by so many friends that we
Yeah.
knew. We spent more time talking to people we haven't seen in a year than we did watching the show. But man, Taylor left it all on stage, and we had talked to him at a podcast just
The week
before.
Yeah.
And they did make their Kickstarter goal.
Sure did.
And
with a little surplus.
look for new music coming out. So I was thrilled for that.
I think they're excited.
I'll go next. I'll be real selfish and say at the CAC in Temple, Dustin Brown and Lily and the Implements.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Lily's never a bad show, ever.
Well, they were on point that night. Everybody was, and just thrilled to be on that stage. It's such a cool venue to watch a show like that. And Evan Shepard, John Napier, Wes Perryman, Lily Milford, all of them are just so talented. And anytime you get to see a show, it's great. But especially indoors when they're comfortable and relaxed.
Yeah. Indoors would be cool right now.
Yeah, we're here at the Backyard Bar Stage and Grill in Waco, and it's probably about 40 degrees.
And there's nobody else outside.
There's usually 10 or 20 people out here watching football, but
Well, man, they've got that massive screen, and it's going right now. But we're tucked away over here in the corner. So, but it would be nice to be. All right, so that's if we do
that's
top
3.
5 shows.
Right. Well, I know the top 5 show is the number 1 show is easy. It's one that you and I both went to. You're just gonna blank out on it. Raisin for Reigns.
I wasn't gonna blank out on that. I knew that was gonna be the top one.
That was by far the top one.
No credit whatsoever at all. I'm done. I'm over.
Everything about that show was my favorite part of the year.
Man, yeah, it was just good.
Parker and Jack Ingram and
Everybody let us just kind of intrude on them.
yeah,
you know?
we got to talk to everybody, and it was for a great cause, and it raised so much dang money, and it went to the right place. It didn't just go to administrative fees and all that. It helped somebody that really needed it.
Yeah, it's paying some light bills. It's putting some groceries in the fridge.
Absolutely.
It's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so you're saying you don't want to do the list of the top 5 concerts?
No.
I've got one off the cuff,
Okay.
without having anything written down. What are your top 5 time wasters, like things you watch on YouTube that just waste time? Because when I was sitting in COVID,
Yeah.
I found some things on YouTube that have nothing to do with anything that I'm doing, but I've got some
Really?
surprise.
What is that like? I wish I knew how to just.
All right.
Everything I do is got like some kind of purpose.
All right, I'll do this list. I like watching people get surprised. So I like surprise engagement, surprise baby announcement, surprise soldiers coming home. I like all of that kind of stuff.
I got some.
Okay, go ahead.
I like. Well, I've got a couple of dumb YouTube videos. I like watching the remote control cars and trucks, like the little cities of the cars and trucks. I also like watching crashes. Just hopefully nobody got hurt or whatever, but just
Right.
crazy crashes. Just those, and that's.
Well, okay, I'll go next because I watched some of that too, but I just haven't got into it. My current one, I've got a drone, okay, and
Yeah.
and I'm having a ball with it, and I'm trying to learn the laws, and I came across something of the cops arresting somebody that shouldn't have been arrested. And it's got me into a bunch of videos of stuff called the First Amendment audits. Do you know what a First Amendment audit is?
We've talked about this a little bit.
Most of those
I
guys,
don't always agree with
most of those guys are assholes, but
Yeah.
but some of them, they all know their stuff, but some of them do it the right way, and it's really interesting to see how much stuff cops do know and the cops don't know, and
It's kind of scary.
it is kind of scary because I'm interested in what happens if I'm flying a drone over backyard barbecue and I have every right to do it? It's registered. I have my Part 107 license, and a cop comes and tells me to take it down. What do I do? I'm going to take it down, but my right. I mean, it's just interesting to me. All that
it's
stuff.
left to be subjective. Yeah, I've seen the ones that I've seen of that are the ones that it's usually some guy, he's like screaming at some cop, do something about it, do something about it.
Right.
Somebody just shoot him.
And they're bait. Some of them bait them. They're like they have a fake gun on, and they're trying to get the cop to arrest them so they can say, "Oh, I got arrested for."
Sure,
I don't like all that.
The cops should just shoot them.
Right, and sort it out later.
Yeah, we're not condoning anyway. Moving on.
I've got 2 produced shows that I like to watch. One show by the BYU network, Brigham Young Network, called Random Acts. Again, I like when people get surprised, and they go do nice things for people that are nominated, and they go all out. It's a TV show. They got money behind it. And then the Mike Rowe Show, Returning the Favor on Facebook. If you want to get me crying, that's a show that'll get me crying because they hit the people that I'm like, oh, he deserved it. So anytime one of those 2 shows comes out,
you're just so deep.
I am deep. Oh, I'm not deep. I
watched the
Hallmark
Hoonigans.
The who's?
The Hoonigans. Ken Block.
Oh yeah.
Jim Files. Yeah, I watched the Hoonigans, man. That's what I got.
Here, but the reason I want to do this list, the number one thing that got me through coronavirus was I found a guy from Scottsdale, Arizona, called the Bronze Cowboy. And I don't know if I've told you about the Bronze Cowboy, but I became such a fan of this guy that I've called him and asked him if he would do a podcast with us. And he has refused right now. Not refused, but he's just kind of not doing that thing. But the Bronze Cowboy is a performance artist guy, and he dresses up like a statue. And I know you've seen these things on TV before.
We just seen one in I think the San Antonio the other day.
There's a lot of them, but this guy, those guys are people pretending to be a statue. I'm convinced that this guy's a statue pretending to be a person because people will come down and sit with him on the seat, put their arm around him, and kind of look like he's kind of squishy, and then he'll move and he scares people. Every Saturday he posts a new video. He's the Bronze Cowboy, and I can never stop watching and just laughing at all the people he scares. And he's got some. I won't spoil everything, but he's got some secret moves and stuff that'll double scare people. And but that's got me through April, May, and June on YouTube, catching up with all the Bronze Cowboy stuff. So, anything else that?
Man, I discovered a lot of new YouTubers. I've just been down a path of learning. That's kind of what the whole time has been, just kind of just soaking it in. It's been a little weird a few times.
Yeah.
Because it kind of locked in, and Melissa works in healthcare, so I can't just be out running free with the wind with the old people.
Lori's been working at home, and Bailey's back at school for now. And I was working from home a little bit and went to the office, and I've been blessed to be able to shoot shows at Chef's Barbecue all year long. They never really shut it down.
Right.
They did some online shows, but they've had some sketchy shows with too many people, and then we scaled it back and did some social distancing when that became the thing to do, and we've been successful. And I've been really lucky as a photographer of Texas music because of that. Probably better than anybody else in the state. They've
had shows. I mean, the shows have been here, and I mean, it's just like every other year. I mean, we could have came, we just didn't. And really, a lot of the shows that were here, we were out of town. We've actually been working. We probably
You've
funny
been
enough,
killing this year.
We probably worked more this year than we've worked any other year. Blessed without a doubt, but it definitely hit us pretty hard, but we just keep trying to figure stuff out.
So as we sit in our little corner of the globe, 40-degree weather with nobody around us,
I don't know that it's the worst thing that could happen.
You want to take a break and then come back and
Let's
talk
take
about?
a break
We'll talk about what we're going to talk about.
Let's talk about what we're going to talk about when we get right back. We'll be right
back.
To the end, I'm on my way. And I'm on my way.
I brought it.
Hello, Texas.
Man, Texas, and it is 40-something degrees out here.
Yeah, we've been here the last 3 times, and
It ain't been this cold. But,
it's been nice.
We could even probably get a heater over here if we wanted to.
Yeah,
But I don't. Yeah, but we're stuck over here in the corner.
We're
and
low tech.
It's not windy. It's nice.
These lights may give me a sunburn if
Yeah,
I'm the right way.
lights are kind of coming in pretty heavy, right?
So we're trying to decide what list of 5 that we should talk about, and
To be D5.
the 5, the big end of the year grand finale, ta-da! List.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
What? And
So you got another idea? Let's try. What else you got?
about just thinking through the year, and COVID kind of ruled everything. Our best moments of COVID or our worst moments of COVID, or you want to combine them and just talk about?
Oh man, we've got some. I got some. I almost got stuck in Myanmar whenever the whole COVID thing hit.
Is that a best or worst moment? Because Myanmar,
God, that would have been a worse moment.
yeah, but seeing Myanmar is pretty cool.
It was cool to be there. It was it's one of those places that makes you very much appreciate home. I don't, not to bag or anything on them, but people talk about being a third world nation. I feel like Myanmar is probably one of those countries that would aspire
Right.
to be a third world nation. They're trying. They're a fairly new country, and they're trying pretty hard, and they just kind of keep getting hit, left and right. But we almost got stuck there. That would be a pretty crappy moment.
Yeah, I was worried about you for quite a while.
A lot of people were.
And to be fair, when you left, it was kind of something might happen. But about 3 days after you left, they started talking about shutting down all air travel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you're going to be speaking another language in a month, and you're not going to ever be able to come back.
That's one of those.
Concern.
It was one of those moments where there's a possibility, because you're talking about this possibility of something happening. I don't think there was any one of us at that point had any idea what COVID was.
Right.
Understood it. We knew it was happening somewhere else, but it wasn't happening here. And this was that week was that turning point. Nobody would have ever considered what was going to happen. I was in a hotel in Yangon whenever I got the word that President Trump had issued this shutdown ban.
And at the time,
that's where it became
at the time,
real.
You're like, nah, they do stuff like that. It's nothing.
Yeah, well, we knew there was a chance, but then that's where it became real.
Right.
Spent the next 2 or 3 days wondering, am I going to get out of this place? Am I, want to go with a good moment? Before I left, the day before I left, I got married.
Yeah. You went on your honeymoon without your wife.
Yeah. So Melissa, the sweet sound behind in the background over there. So, girl.
I've got a question, because I've never talked to you about this. When you got back, you had to quarantine.
Yeah.
And Melissa works in the healthcare industry.
That's right.
So y'all had to.
That's right.
Y'all had to separate in the house
14 days.
For 14 days.
Now, I understand I was cleared by the CDC and all this other good stuff, and we came back through, but I had no symptoms or any of that stuff. And
this is back when they didn't understand anything about the virus.
You know what? Whenever we went through Singapore, Singapore is one of those countries that you make jokes about it, but they got it together. I mean, they had all the infrared scans that you walk through. There's none of this, put a thermometer to your head. It was, you walk through the big scanners, and but there was no signs, no symptoms, and was cleared by the CDC back in the country. But still, we had to spend 2 weeks, 14 days.
I just couldn't. I figured, okay, y'all are fudging the rules a little bit, but I don't think you did.
So Melissa's got a pretty important job. What's up, girl?
You do have a pretty important job. This reminded me of something I'm fixing to talk about. So
Yeah, well, I mean, so she does things for a certain, I guess you'd say, group of people in our society that is pretty
Elderly.
important.
Yeah.
The very people that this thing seemed to be attacking in the very, very beginning. So all that time, I mean, some of the greatest things in the world that could have happened to me happened in 2020, and some of the scariest and potentially could have been the worst things.
yeah, and my mom got COVID through all this.
That's
And,
right. I remember. I think Melissa tried to.
Melissa did help me. We were navigating insurance and rehabilitation places. She had knee surgery, had to be put in rehabilitation. They sent her insurance, sent her home unannounced the day that she got COVID. 2 days later, she was in the hospital. I had to say basically goodbye to her on the phone because I could hear it in her voice that she was fixing to get put on a ventilator. And wouldn't you know, something called hydrochloroquine fixed her in about 4 hours.
No, that stuff don't work.
And then about a day later, she had convalescent plasma, and she was out of the hospital in 2 days. I
just quit making stuff up now. Would you just stop making stuff up?
I'm fine with nobody caring. My mom's still here. She's doing well.
I'm glad.
She's at home.
She's at home
and
now.
She's been home for a while, and she's doing her own physical therapy. She's got some home health care coming, and I will say. We switched from Aetna Insurance, and I'll gladly say don't ever be on Aetna Insurance. That's the biggest PSA I can ever put out, and we got better health care for her, better insurance for her now.
So y'all got all that squared away.
We're paying more, but I would never take a discount to be on Aetna Insurance ever.
And that's a big deal for you to say that you would buy something that's not the cheapest thing you could find.
No, it's not.
I understand how much that means to you because there's nothing else.
I just want a good deal. It doesn't need to be the cheapest. I just need to get a good deal on it. Oh man, that hurt a little bit. So I'm gonna do one of my favorite moments of 2020 was because of COVID. A lot of musicians had a lot of extra time on their hands.
Yeah.
And Wes Perryman recorded an album. It hadn't been released yet, but I know it's out there because he invited me down to Cibolo Studios to video and take photographs. And I'd never been in a recording studio before.
Yeah, it's neat.
It was so cool, and to see Wes with real session players that basically listened to the song and in 10 minutes knew everything about the song and were riffing and doing all that stuff. It was so satisfying to hear those songs played. And then his daughter came in. We need to take a break?
I wasn't counting. So I don't know if that was 16 in the clip or so we got 5 left or 5 in. Okay, nobody's coming running. All right, we keep going. Sorry about that.
It reminded me of another moment, but
we wasn't sure. So.
Wes's daughter came in and had a song that she wanted to play, and the session player stuck around and played with her, and she basically recorded a song. I'm going to get this wrong, but You Wash the Laundry and I'll Wash the Dreams or something like that was the name of the song.
Oh,
and
wow.
It was just touching to watch the whole thing. So
yeah.
that was one of my best moments. We just had some noises over our shoulder here. It reminded me of we did a Red Dirt Madness breakdown in April, and I was on a Zoom call with.
Hold on, you see the wind pick up whenever you brought that up. Whenever you mention that, you see what that's happened in here.
We had some.
So there's like some voodoo hoodoo that's saying that you shouldn't talk about that juju.
Well, we'll talk about the details in a minute. But through that, I was on a Zoom call with Quinn and Quade Addison, and in the Zoom call, I got a notice on my phone that I got a notification that Joe Diffie had died of COVID complications, and I have it all. It was all recorded. Me looking down at my phone and looking up and going, "Guys, we gotta stop!" And everybody kind of panicking because that was one of the first big names.
Yeah.
That died, and then John Prine, and then just Charlie Pride today. Was it yesterday or
Yes,
today?
yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Yeah.
Charlie Daniels, but Joe Diffie was one of the first that that happened, and
Yeah, that one kind of stung a little bit because he was the second person that I knew that had died with COVID.
and we had to stop the podcast so I could go find the photos to make sure that Coke FM had the photos of him playing at Coke Fest the year before. That kind of brought it all home, knowing that okay, I'm kind of involved in this. I've got a part to play in this story. All of a sudden, it was that moment made it kind of real that this isn't just something that you talk about. That this happens to people that we know.
Yeah, it was whenever I'd just gotten back, and I think I was still in the 14-day quarantine thing. I used to do a lot of volunteer work at Shepherd's Heart, and there was a guy there, Taro. He'd come in the afternoons, and apparently he was one of those guys I hadn't got to his story yet, But anyway, he was always there, and he was the first person, and that sucked.
Yeah.
And then it was just a couple days later that happened.
Yeah.
So,
well, and I got a show canceled. It was March 16th, and the reason I know is I was literally printing T-shirts to go to the Coke FM South by Southwest kickoff party. I took off the day from work to do something else and go to the concert to hit it. I was going to see Colby Cooper and Kanan Bryce and J. Marie Patek, and I got shirts made that said Corona Fest 2020 because at the time that was funny.
yeah.
In the middle, after making 3 shirts, I got the call that they were canceling the concert. So I called my supplier and said, cancel the shirts.
Stop.
And he goes, well, I already made 3. I'm like, okay, well, I got 3 Corona Fest shirts. And, but I missed that show. And then that was the very beginning. March 16th was the very beginning of just shut down 100%.
Yeah, South by Southwest got shut down.
And at the time, we were like, that's the stupidest decision. And
Yeah, why are they doing that? Yeah,
And
we didn't know.
The sad one was Larry Joe Taylor. I was so looking forward to just going for an hour, just for a day.
There's just a vibe there, with that place. So, yeah.
So we're hoping that all that stuff comes back in 2020.
2021. Well, see what happens. I mean, there's the vaccine stuff. I know there's a lot of controversy around the vaccine. I know Pfizer. And
give it to me today. I'll take it right now.
I think I don't think Melissa's really going to have a choice. But I don't.
I'll take it with you.
I don't think it's the end of the world, really. And I know there's a lot of people that this is a really, really big deal to them. And I'm not trying to undervalue or devalue that whatsoever. I seen a meme earlier today, and it sized it up pretty good. You've been eating them McDonald's chicken McNuggets for how many years? and you ain't got a damn clue what's in that. And you mad because you don't know what's in this vaccine. I think ultimately it's like how much research do we need? So here's some nerdy stuff. Computers do this thing called folding, and I know it's not the same, but it can replicate genetic coding and all this other good stuff. And some of the stuff I read, that's how they get vaccines tested outside of live patients, is through those types of methods. That's the reason now it doesn't take 30 years to get a vaccine through, but there's people that don't want no part of vaccines. And I get that too.
I understand all of it.
And this is one of those ones, whenever it becomes available, you know what, I'll take the vaccine. And I very well may be one of the very first zombies as a result. But it'll be done. I'm a Christian, so #saved. It'll be good.
I've been looking forward to the zombie apocalypse. So, real quick, we've the last two I want to mention is we mentioned it before. The Raisin for Rains concert.
Yeah,
was both the best and a little bit the worst because of the reason we had to be there.
Sure.
But that whole moment of everybody just coming together, fighting through all of this COVID stuff to do it the right way, the best we could.
Well, what was really cool was the people there, the crowd, the people that paid for those seats.
Right.
They know what they were there for, and they know it was a good cause.
Right.
And aside from the ticket, it was a rock star lineup.
Right.
That ticket was amazing.
I think Parker McCollum had a private backyard show for 25 people.
It went
for $250,000.
Was it that much?
No, I take that back.
That might be a little high.
$25,000.
Yeah, I was thinking 25, 30 grand.
I added a zero in the story.
That was a little ambitious, but man, it was.
But they raised a whole lot of money.
A lot. For good reason, man. And it was really neat to see that. It was neat to see the people that were there, maintain, the respected, social distancing stuff, and nobody was jerks. That was kind of important.
And I have to say, my number one favorite moment of 2020, which lasted all of 2020, is this dang podcast. Bro. This has been so much fun.
So we took a couple of minutes. We didn't really do anything at all for a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think we was like the rest of the world trying to figure out, is this thing even going to be here to do anything with?
Right.
And I think we figured some things out.
We tried to do it virtually. I did a Corona concert with Lily and Jonah May.
Yeah.
It was great. It just
it ain't the same as it.
It's not this. It's not getting all the equipment out and
Just
figuring it all out
face to face
and
the thing, we figured out how to get it to this point, and Melissa is good with producing us, so we can we figured this out.
And we had a fight that rivaled any fight I've had in any relationship I had.
Oh my God.
And it was so much fun.
And we put it out there in the air.
To be able to be public with it.
Well,
it was a real damn fight.
It was go right here if you want to see it. It's here you go right there. I don't know how
laundry.
long. Dirty laundry.
And
get you some of that.
We promoted it.
We paid for Steve paid for promotion.
I do want to say thank you to Michael Mode for having to sit through that impromptu.
Did you see the look on his face?
Uncomfortable.
Michael, man, thank you for being there with us.
It's all Bo Bolfing's fault.
Yeah.
He started it.
That's what he gets. Yeah.
If he wouldn't have been such a great guest, we wouldn't have had anything to edit, and we wouldn't have fought about anything.
Wouldn't have been nothing to go over with it. Whatever.
And then we went through. I think John Napier kicked it off. I talked to Kaylee Grace out of Kansas City. I just want to say personally, Kaylee's been on my mind. She's going through some tough times,
yes,
but she'll make it through. She's a pro.
She is the epitome of a badass.
Yeah.
She's one of those people that. We talked about a while ago. We was talking about Terry Range. There's people we know that are total badasses, and I truly believe Kaylee is one of those.
And then we talked to Mike to Taylor Branch, talked to Townie Adams, which was a really cool, unexpectedly cool interview.
Man, well, both of them, and just
Yeah,
kind of where they
Storm
kind of
Simpson.
come from. Yeah. So
And then I just had I call it a rare opportunity. I can do it whenever I call them up and do it whenever I want to. But one of my heroes in this industry is Jared Birmingham, and people get sick of it.
yeah,
because
that will be out by the time this airs. That will be out.
And I just finished editing it today, and I'm so proud of it. And I learned setup and all this with me and you helped me fix something that went wrong with one of the cameras.
And it wasn't into the world, but
sitting down and talking about a specific subject and being prepared, learning show prep and all that, which we didn't really do today.
there's not a lot. We had a loose idea.
But all of that just has been fun to learn. Just
Learning how to duplicate it.
And honestly, anything that you and I and Melissa do together is so much fun. I don't care if it's doing taxes together.
Yeah, we'd have a good. No, we're not going to do taxes.
Well, we would have fun doing it. Let's put it that
But you know
way.
what? Steve will put your stuff in a list in a minute, and your CPA.
I got a spreadsheet.
Your CPA will be like, I like you. I'm going to give you 15% discount because it is so good. But I holler at your boy Steve. Don't bring that business to me. I don't. But
So we're not going to talk about the best moments for our final five because we just did that. So
I don't know. We'll take a break. We'll come back and we'll see where we're at with it.
Let's talk about it, and let's go ahead and stay tuned. The final five.
Yeah, the final five
Coming
of
up
2020.
After this.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
To the end, I'm on my way. And I'm on my way.
Well,
And we're back.
hi. What's up?
Every time we do that, there's a Jimmy Fallon sketch on Saturday Night Live that he used to do with Horatio Sands. It was like Jared's World or something where they were stoners in the bedroom. And we're back. Or I may be confused in a different one, but every time I do that, I've got Jimmy Fallon's voice in my head. So we've discussed it. We have come up with a grand finale. Quit playing with your dongle and
I just realized I don't know which side it's been
go on the other side. Okay, yeah, that's that side. There's technical camera reasons why it needs to be on that
Oh
side.
yeah. Oh.
So we've discussed it, and we have a final five for 2020.
Are we sure?
No, we're not sure, but we are going to do the top 5 things we've learned in 2020.
Yeah, because there's been some. You know what? This was a good year for learning, man. I mean, we can throw all kinds of things at 2020. I mean, it's done all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I think more than anything is it taught people a lot of stuff. I think some people it made worse.
Yeah, and you and I talked about this, and we wrote it down. We've got just 5 between us. 5 hello
just
Texas,
ours,
not
yeah.
you, not me, but we've agreed
5.
on these 5
Yeah,
things.
there's not any, because I think these impact us personally as much as
Things we learned.
just overall in general. And I'm happy to say I learned some stuff this year.
Yeah,
Man, I'll just tell you, maybe it's that time of year. Your bottom lip's shivering. I'm
cold.
sorry, you're
It's
so
cold.
I feel fine. It's okay. It's a little chilly, but man, I'm so grateful to be a part of so many creative communities, and so many people that are so positive all the time about trying to get stuff done. To be a part of Red Sea TV, Hello Texas, and Crackers and Cucumbers, and being a part of the backyard, and all these things.
If I wasn't doing all this, I'd be a sculptor, and I'd be doing really bad sculpting and passing it off as art. So,
well, I mean, there's photographers and musicians and there's a whole bunch of people that do a lot of those things and pass it off as art, and they make good money doing it.
I've enjoyed creating. I've enjoyed creating just photography, and then just hanging out with you and creating something out of nothing has been which is exactly what we're doing tonight. Is just creating something out of nothing.
And sometimes it comes easy, and sometimes it don't. So
right.
Well, so
let's start.
What we've learned this year, right?
Right. What the top 5 things Tim and Steve, or let's do it this way. The top 5 things Hello Texas has learned in 2020.
I'm good with that, man.
Number 5.
Ta-da! We're all trying to get somewhere. We're all just trying to figure it out. Yeah, that's just it. We're all just trying, what did I put down here? We're all just trying
to get somewhere.
Yeah, we are all just trying to figure out how to get somewhere.
And explain what you mean by
that. Man, you look around, we're all trying to figure out something. We're all trying to figure out how to make a living. We're all trying to figure out how to carry on with our lives. And things are really new for everybody. But even before trying to figure out how to navigate, COVID restrictions and that kind of thing, we were all just trying to figure it out. Just trying to figure out how to scratch a living out of something, how to survive, how to make music, how to make better pictures, we was all just trying to figure it out. And COVID made us all have to get on the same page to figure it out.
Yeah.
And, it's been a rough year politically and a lot of things like that. And then there's a lot of people who have just kind of missed the boat on that. And I think, one thing we could do, and that's me included, is maybe show a little bit more grace to the people around us.
Yeah.
That are just trying to figure it out.
It's a great lead into my next one.
And that's just it.
Yeah. So I'll go next. Number 4 is that COVID showed a lot of people's true colors. I can count 5 to 10 specific instances where I was shook by what friends and family and acquaintances did or said through COVID and the election and everything that just shook me to, this is not what I thought this was.
By those people.
Whether it was good or bad.
Yeah.
But and not just people, but groups and situations and businesses. But there was 5 or 10 instances that made me reflect on myself. That am I on the right side of this?
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable that 20 years from now, when I look back on 2020, that the decisions I made, which I had to change some decisions, were the correct ones. That I've stopped talking about certain things on social media because it just
because now you was very much for a little bit you was pretty vocal politically.
I enjoy the debate. I enjoy talking about it.
And when thing about you is you very much you were openly, publicly very people will call you a fence rider. You will debate both sides of it. You'll be devil's advocate one minute, and the next minute you're the angel on the shoulder.
I like to poke the bear.
Well, and I think a lot of people.
I like the debate. I like,
more than anything, you like to debate. This is a wrong year for that.
Right. Well, what I learned is some people either have too much logic or don't want any logic in their debate.
Right.
And I was wrong in some of the feelings that I've had this year, but I'll be the first one to say that I was wrong. And I did a lot of things to keep myself sane that some people enjoyed, but some people viewed as biased or I don't even know. But
some of the feelings I think that were kind of sent your way, I felt like were a little bit unjustified.
And most of that was social media. Some of that was in person at just people that I've met, acquaintances that I had, but most of the time we go out of our way to be polite and not give our opinions. And
we do.
Especially COVID pulled that away, and I saw friends go after friends and friends go after people that they never would go after.
We said a while ago, it didn't make everybody better.
No. And then I also saw people go out of their way to try to make everybody better. So it just showed a lot of true colors of a lot of people. So that's my number 4.
Man, so, oh yeah. Oh.
Number 3. Number 3.
All the planning in the world does not matter without execution.
That's a bumper sticker right there.
That man, I'm pretty sure that is a proverb somewhere. That is like biblical advice. I think
you've had to come a long way for that too,
man.
Because you're a planner.
To some degree. I'm not a very good planner. You and Melissa are extremely organized. I can give y'all my ideas, and y'all can take those things and put them into these forms to help them be executable. Man, I spend a lot of time trying to learn how to do stuff, and I'm kind of an old guy, and by a lot of standards, especially for videographers and especially this newer YouTube generation kind of thing. I'm an older guy, so I'm always trying to figure out how to do something. I'm always trying to learn something. And I'll be the first one to tell you. There used to be a commercial YouTube video and a night at Holiday Inn Express. You can do anything. Or the Hilton, whichever one. And but you can learn some stuff. And I'm always trying to learn some stuff. Always, always, always. But I had to learn that if I don't start executing what I've learned how to do, it don't matter. And here we are. We've done all kinds of planning, but we were not executing.
Right.
And I've got a couple of projects right now that are like that. A couple of video projects. Fishing to get back working with Red Sea. We got some stuff. I just got done reading a script. I don't know how much of that I can talk about, but it's pretty cool. We get to start shooting it, but that's just it. All the planning in the world, and not to say you don't plan, but if you don't start executing,
it's just a piece of paper. It's just
that's it.
It's just a spreadsheet on the computer. There's no. If you don't use it, then I get that 100%.
Yeah, there it is.
All right.
That's took a bunch to come to.
Well, my next one, number 2 on the list, it kind of relates to my last one. Is I can be a fan of someone, and without having to promote someone. I learned in April. In April, we did the red dirt roundup, or the Red Dirt Madness.
Man, it was a total knockoff of the March Madness.
They canceled March Madness, so we did our own March Madness just to fill time and to try to promote all of the artists that we liked. And we got,
because I've got a few people. I've got a pretty not heavy. There's a lot of people on my friends list that have no idea anything about Texas or Texas music. Sure. Melissa does. I think we all do, and we're always trying to reach those people.
Right, and it was just for fun to showcase artists. I mean, last week I talked to Jared Birmingham, and he was tickled that Quaid didn't know who he was. He thought it was great.
Anytime you can find a new fan or somebody, a new person.
And that kind of stuff. But we got legitimate hate sent our way for doing that.
We did.
Not just, this is a bad idea, guys, but we're going to shut you down, and we're
fans and artists.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think we should do it again in April.
Man,
we haven't talked about it, but I so want to do it again.
Let's come back to that, because that was a time that was pretty tough for all of us. It was kind of a vulnerable time for everybody.
It was a tough time. Again, I made some decisions, and you and I made some decisions that I'll look back on in 20 years and think, okay, I did the right thing.
Yeah.
And you did the right thing.
We pulled the plug on some things.
We didn't take the low road almost ever. I mean, I can't think of a comment that was made that we took the professional road to handle it the correct way.
Yeah.
But this
is probably the most we've talked about it openly.
Yeah. It's the first time.
It hurt.
It was the first time that we've had to deal with somebody not just saying, "Oh, you guys are great. Y'all are doing a great job. Thank you."
Because really and truly, what we was wanting to do was promote the artists, and it was all in good fun.
And I understand their point, but they didn't understand our point.
My problem with it was there was right at that same time there was five other publications, social publications, whatever you want to call
doing
them,
the
pages,
same thing.
doing some rendition of the same thing. Some, and I don't know if you want to say they were more established or not. I don't know. However you see that thing, doing the exact same thing. But some people jumped on us pretty hard and felt like what we was doing just wasn't cool. And to that, all I got is liar, liar, pants on fire.
You just pulled that one out, didn't you? That came out of nowhere. What I learned through all this is I'm just as big of a fan of the people that we're talking about as I was in March. But
I can agree with that.
But I don't have to sit and talk about them and to them.
Who?
And it doesn't matter who.
Exactly.
I wish them the best. I'll buy their stuff. I'll buy their merch. I'll wear their shirts.
Yeah, when the music comes out, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I'll like and follow them on social media.
That's where it ends.
But I don't have to be their friend, and I get that. I'm fine with that. And I've always told every one of the artists that I talk to is I understand that me being backstage means we're not friends. We could become friends, but just because I've met you doesn't mean that I'm your friend and you're my friend.
Right.
That's something I think a lot of fans don't understand, that you met Parker McCullum doesn't mean you get backstage every time. Some of these
what we consider friends with an artist is completely different than what I think most people consider being friends with an artist is.
Right. I've met tons of artists. I'm friends with several of those artists. A lot of them are nice to me, and I'm nice to them, and I enjoy when I get to see them.
I think they just feel bad for us.
But there's only a few that I'm friends with.
Yeah.
And those people know who they are, and you'll hear me talk about them
probably more than
in 2021.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're going to talk about them some more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was a really tough one. I think that was a tough one for both of us. It was.
I think it was tougher on you than me. I think there was.
Yeah, because I know our intentions wasn't that was probably the first time where I know our intentions are solid. Because I know what we're wanting to do. I know how we're wanting this thing to be.
The reason it wasn't as hard on me was because it's all fun. I just want to have fun.
And I agree, but that was the first time that it hit me that we're probably going to upset somebody or offend somebody. And I think my overall takeaway from that one was sometimes people are just going to be pissy. And ain't nothing we can do about it.
Can't please everybody all the time.
And that right there was that was a really big lesson for me. What was learning that I'm probably going to, just by and I know these things, these are those life things, just by my existence, people are not going to like me. Does that mean I stop? Well, I almost did. Well, that one put me in a pretty hard hole.
The lesson for me, which wasn't really a lesson, it was just it's time to put up or shut up, is be professional. Just be
I think we did.
Professional
and I think
possible.
I don't think we commented on it whenever it hit at the time, and I think we just kind of moved on and we shuffled it to the side.
No matter what the situation. So, last one that we decided on, that all of this leads up on. Number one thing that we learned in 2020.
Man, this was
just have fun. That's it.
Just have fun. And whenever we stopped having, I don't know that we stopped having fun, but we was putting so much. I know earlier this year I put so much into production, wanted the production just to be fabulous right away.
And I just wanted the content.
You just wanted the content.
Let's pour it all out there.
And somewhere in the middle of all this, I think we sort of shifted, and now I kind of want the content.
And I want production.
And you want production, but it's okay because I think we have shifted
Right.
to find that alignment where we
we've-
can have fun.
We've forgiven each other to the point that what it is, it is what it is. And
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's gonna be grainy. Sometimes sometimes the ISO is gonna be like 256,000 or something, But then other times the audio is going to sound like pure, complete, unadulterated ass. And there's nothing, and it just is. You know what? You planned it. You screwed it up. Let's listen. We're both good enough. We can polish it up a little bit, put the content out, and move on. I learned that from Russell Clay with the Red Sea. Is Russell will tell you. So the videos may not always be this Hollywood-looking stuff, but we got to do it. This is where we're at right now. Move on. So. I think it's as wide open as it goes. Anyway,
so that was a big one, and
having
really,
fun.
And we started out January 1st that this was going to be fun, and then it became not fun for a while.
Got to be work for a little bit because it wasn't going how we envisioned it.
We set expectations of ourselves that we couldn't do without work. I mean, and I don't mind the work. It just wasn't fun work. It wasn't. It was a responsibility to do something that in a time that I don't think we could do it.
We just weren't there.
Right.
And man, I'm going to brag on myself a little bit. I spent 30 days doing the video challenge thing, and I've done, these other things. Man, we've done some little video stuff this past week, and I've been able to kind of whip that stuff around and edit it up like really, really quick. And I know I was at a point where something like that would have taken me 3 weeks, and I'd throw it down in about 3 hours, and it's okay.
And I did a podcast last week, kind of solo on my own.
You did a full blown, and
it
looks
you
good.
You helped me with it, but
and it's not as bad as you think. And I think that's the part.
I
having
get that.
fun is we want it to be so good, and we forget that.
Right.
And then it's like. Everybody don't see what we do in the background.
You helped me fix the one thing that I was upset at. We fixed it. So
yeah.
And it just
and you had a ball. You were so excited. He called me.
I did have a ball.
He called me the night before, and he's telling me all about this interview he's doing and everything, and he's just so stoked. It was great, and he was having fun.
Yeah.
I see the Jared Birmingham hat.
Yeah. Look, living my dreams. I mean, the reason I have a camera is so I can get backstage and meet the people that inspire me. That's the reason. And then to get to sit and talk, and then to watch you evolve as a professional videographer and photographer, and being a part of it. Just
being able to learn some of it.
Yeah, it's just so satisfying. It just hits that creative chord in me that whether I learn anything or not, I had a good time doing it. And even in the failures, even in the fight, even in dirty laundry, when I'm like, I don't know if Tim's ever going to talk to me again, it was fun working through that and promoting it that was literally one of my favorite moments is having people call me with the promotion that we did saying, "Are you and Tim okay?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to, knowing that we already worked it out.
We had been talking for 2 weeks, and we was both having people going, "Things all right with you and Steve?"
So
man,
that's
it was a.
There's a stray cat.
The cat behind
crashes.
us. I was like, I don't know. Is it? Can that camera see it? I don't know. Whatever. Man, it just. I know this year's been tough for a lot of people.
We're surviving.
We are surviving, and I'm so grateful for that. As bad as as things could be for us, and just knowing where people are in some places where things are really, really bad.
Yeah.
So grateful. I'm so grateful for the country I live in. I am, I've got friends who are overseas. I'm so grateful for the troops that are still, fighting for us around the world, for law enforcement officers that, it's a really, it's a really, really tough time to be a cop right now. And I'm so grateful for those guys. You know, I'm grateful for the city of Waco, kind of keeps things under control. I'm grateful Belton does the same thing, you know, and
everybody's just doing the best they can.
And that's just it. Everybody's trying to figure it out.
No matter what you see on the one, since I turned off the TV and watching all of the drama on TV, everybody's just trying to get along and the best they can. Nobody's really upset at all the things that the news tells us we should be upset about.
I think people are kind of over it to that end.
Yeah. And
you know, and I'm not. It was, all in all, it was a good year. I married the love of my life, and man, I had no no idea I could be this in love. You know, I mean, who knew? And our business,
cue romantic music.
Crackers and Cucumbers done better this year than it's ever had, even in the middle of all this. And that wasn't great, but it's better. And I don't know. And we're kind of back at this. And my grandson's coming in 2 weeks.
That's cool. Yeah, you got to spend like a month with him.
Almost a month with him.
That was cool to watch.
Yeah, in the middle of all that, we had a ball. So I'm glad it's almost over, though.
Yeah.
Next year's going to be another exciting year.
I'm looking forward, music-wise, to see all the music that everybody that's been quarantined all year has come out with. I think everybody's holding on to it. So I think 2021 is going to explode.
If the vaccine stuff comes in, we can get a grip on it.
I'm just looking forward to. I don't know. Knock on wood. I don't know how 2021 can't be any. It's got to be better. It's going to be better for me. Yeah. I know that, and I think it's going to be better for Hello Texas and Steve Peters Photography and Crackers and Cucumbers Photography. And we'll figure it all out. And we'll keep doing this as long as
people keep watching. As long as listen, if you're with us this far. I got one last thing. I kind of want to. If you're with us this far, we'd like to see down in the comments.
Somebody comment
something. Hey, whatever. I've got a kind of a question.
Yeah.
If you're watching it, we're talking about some merch stuff. What type? I'd love to see in the comments. Maybe some things that maybe people the three people that watch this. What kind of merch would you like to see us have? Not saying that we would, but if we did. So there's your homework.
We've got the stickers. We've got the koozies. We got the
What would you want to see? That would and
what would you buy?
What would you buy? Yeah, that's probably the biggest question. So comment down below. You get done with that.
We've got so many guests that have been contacted that want to do this.
Yeah. Who would you like to see us do?
I've talked to a few people. I've got one name that I'm going to throw at you off air that you're going to crap your pants. That may come do it. So
sounds good.
We've got big things in store for 2021.
Man, I want more more photographers, more videographers. I think we're going to probably start talking a little bit more film stuff. We're a little bit more local to us kind of stuff, that kind of thing.
So that's it. That's the end of
2020. That's 2020 for us.
2020. It was actually a pretty good year.
It was.
You have some hand sanitizer? For Hello Texas, I'm Steve.
Hey, I'm the other guy. I'm Tim.
That's Tim. So long, Texas.
Bye, Texas.
To the end, I'm on